Hello. So I thought I will talk today about something related to the twins and how the twins have been used in medicine to differentiate between whether it is nature or nurtured. It is very, very interesting topic, and I don't think medicine as such has 100% answers on it, though sometimes I feel medicine has no answers or definitely not 100%. So everybody knows about the twins and identical twins, which means the two share exactly the same genetic material. So we all know the twins. The twins have been used in suspense stories, movies, and plots, and we often see sometimes in our own life and friends, relatives, some twins. But there are a lot of misconceptions and misunderstandings about the twins and how the twins are actually born. So I just want to tell you, because many times you will see people saying that XYZ had twins or it runs in his father's side. And that is a misleading statement. Sometimes people will say, well, they had twins, it runs in their mother's side, and that is a partially correct statement. So I just want to give some basic information about twins, and maybe in the next couple of videos, maybe I'll talk about the twin studies and how the scientists are trying to learn whether it is nature versus nurtured, the environment. And again, every time we talk about this, there will be some objections, even though we try to find out exact identical things. So to make an understanding, that when there are two kids born to the same mother at the same time, they're called twins. And of course, if three are born, it's triplet, and then so on and so forth. The incidence of twin is there, but there are identical twins, which means the two twins look exactly alike, and many times they behave exactly alike. And their genetic code is about exactly same except for few genes. So to understand these twins, and then the second type of twins is called fraternal twins, which means there are two kids born, but they are as similar as two brothers, two sisters, brother, sister. As far as look is concerned, behavior is concerned, genetics is concerned, but they're not exactly. So the first kind of twins, which are exactly same looking, are called identical twins, are called monozygotic. Zygote is the fertilized egg, and mono means one. And then the other ones are dizygotic. That means there are two eggs or two zygotes, and the two twins are born out of it. To understand this, one has to realize that on an average, most of the time, a woman releases one egg at a time. The cycles are usually 28 days plus minus few days, and every 28 days, if we take it average, an egg is released. If the egg is not fertilized, the woman gets menstrual cycle, and the preparation that is done in the uterus is lost in that menstrual cycle. If there happens to be sperms floating around at that time when the egg is released, which is 14 days before the start of the menstrual cycle or menses, then the sperm has a chance to fertilize the egg. If a sperm fertilizes the egg, the fertilized egg becomes an embryo. It carries half the genes from the sperm or father and half the genes from the mother, and that's how the entire human genetic genome is contributed in anybody, including you, me, and everybody else. So I have 50% of the genes coming from my father and 50% genes coming from my mother. But if there is an identical twin, what happens is a sperm, when it fertilizes an egg and it starts multiplying, one cell, which is the fertilized egg or embryo, becomes two cells, two become four, four become eight, and so on and so forth. At that time, for whatever reason, in the early part of the division, two separate eggs are formed out of one embryo. I don't want to call it an egg, but two embryos. So one embryo becomes two embryos, and this happens very early, probably within the first 7 days. And if that happens, then each egg has exactly the same genetic material as the other egg, except for few mutations that occur while the egg is multiplying and becoming a human being or a fetus. Please remember that every organ, whether it is hair, nail, liver, heart, lung, kidney, muscles, skin, bones, they all come from one cell. The cell multiplies, and then few of them start differentiating into different organs, and they become different organs. So because this is happening in the early part of the division, the egg, even though originally it started as one embryo, became two, and so each child, each infant, each fetus has exactly the same genetic material as the other. Because it starts with one fertilized ovum, it's called monozygotic, and they are completely identical. These twins are of interest because we want to know if the environment changes the person's behavior or it is the genetic behavior. This forms the perfect petri dish observation for us to see what happens to the diseases, whether they are physical or psychological. Now, if you think about it, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of sperms floating around, but there's only one egg. So the father does not determine whether monozygotic twins are born, nor does a mother determines whether the monozygotic twin is born. So identical twins are born by chance. At least we don't know if it runs in genetics or not, but certainly the father cannot determine it because father is not responsible for splitting of the embryo, nor is the mother. But this is called monozygotic twins. Now the dizygotic twins are when there are two eggs which are fertilized by two different sperms at the same time. So the mother or the woman, if by chance releases two eggs at the same time, and they're fertilized by two separate different sperms, then there are two embryos at the same time which are implanted into the uterus, and they grow. And the genetic material is 50% from father, 50% from mother in each of the embryo or the fetus, but it is not exactly the same as it is in monozygotic twin. So one could have a unidentical twins. Dizygotic twins are unidentical genetically as well as look-wise as well as behavior-wise, and they could have similarity as much as two brothers or two sisters or brother and a sister. So when dizygotic twins are born, there could be two boys, two girls, or one boy and a girl. So this is called dizygotic twins. Releasing two ovas or two ovums at same time is not determined by father. So father does not determine the twins in this case either. But the two ovum to be released at the same time, which is not normal, can run in family of the mother. So if the mother has in her family another woman who has had twins, she has a higher chance of creating two ovums released at the same time and the dizygotic twins. There are other forms of twins, and then how they are formed and how the scientists study about that. We'll talk about this in our next video. Thank you for watching. I hope you like it and subscribe. Have a nice day.